Azure Standard is our favorite place to buy organic and non-GMO food. However, they also offer many household products that are non-toxic and aren't harmful to the environment.
We've put together a list of our top 10 favorite Azure Standard household products. We use all of these pretty much every single day.
The first item on our list are glass jars from Azure Standard, and we get these in gallon size, and they also have half-gallon size. These come in a 4-pack and are really helpful for storing your dried goods around the house. Now, we store a lot of our dried goods in big 5-gallon buckets, but those aren't as easy to get things out of on a daily basis.
They have a wide mouth, which makes it really easy to fit measuring cups in or any scooping device. They're also really easy to pick up and pour. I haven't been able to find many gallon-sized jars that especially have a screw top lid for a reasonable price. They're good, thick quality glass as well.
Now, one con with these jars is that the lids are not included. You do have to buy those separately. They're pretty cheap. I think it's under $4 to get a 4-pack of the lids, but it is an additional expense. The food is really pretty in the glass jar, so even if you don't eat your dried goods and you just want to appear like you eat healthy, you can get these glass jars and put your beans in there, and your friends will come over and think, wow, you guys are really healthy. And then you can pull out the McDonald's when everybody leaves.
The next items on our list are the food grade buckets and Gamma Seal lids. These are fantastic for storing dried foods in bulk. All of the foods that we have listed that we buy in bulk in our top 10 favorite Azure Foods video, we store in these buckets with these lids.
If you're ordering from Azure Standard and are going to be a regular customer, you'll probably start buying in bulk. And I really think these 5-gallon buckets are pretty much a necessity if you're going to order from Azure Standard. Food stored in these 5-gallon buckets will last anywhere from 1 to 3 years and sometimes longer if you get a good Gamma Seal lid and put some oxygen absorbers in with your food.
You can also use them for pet food, chicken feed, helps keep all the bad things that you don't want in there out.
I felt like we were bad parents when we had dogs, as we would buy those large bags, but they would just sit open, and I'm sure that food would go stale after a while.
Yeah.
And we eventually got some of these food grade buckets and Gamma Seal lids. I don't know if the dogs were any happier, but we felt better feeding them from them. The next item on our list can actually help you out in the garden, and it is Pacific Northwest Organic Fish On, which is a fish emulsion fertilizer. This is a general fertilizer that you can use in your garden on all your vegetable plants, and it's not going to harm any of your food or make it toxic, and it can also be used on flowers. This is a 2, 4, and 0.2 fertilizer, meaning that it's 2% nitrogen, 4% phosphorus, and 0.2% potassium.
This is a well-balanced fertilizer that can be applied weekly to plants in your garden. You only need to mix 4 ounces of fertilizer per 1 gallon of water. It goes a long way and will last us a long time. It's also one of the lowest costing organic fertilizers that I've seen available out there. This product does have a strong fish smell, but what do you expect? It's fish juice. We have included links for all of the products that we're discussing down in the description. The next item is the You Care coffee filters. They're totally chlorine-free and unbleached.
We like these quite a bit. There's not much to say about these. I mean, they're coffee filters, but one cool thing is that if you have a compost bin, even the container is compostable. We have found the same brand of coffee filters at other whole food type stores, but we have found that those stores sell them at a significantly higher price than what we found them on Azure's website. If you're into good tasting coffee and being good for the environment, try these filters. The next item on our list are the You Care household gloves, which are cotton flock lined. I'm not 100% sure what cotton flock means, but I do know that it has a nice interior feeling that isn't just the latex, which does 2 things. My hands don't get overly sweaty on just being on a latex surface, and it makes it much easier to remove the gloves.
They come in small, medium, and large sizes, and they are made from responsibly sourced latex. And the gloves are also naturally biodegradable. We are a little more than halfway through our list. Have you tried any of these products before?
Please leave us a comment with your favorite Azure Standard household product.
The next item on our list is the You Care Parchment baking paper. A lot of parchment paper is made with chemicals that turn toxic when heated to certain degrees.
Which I didn't know until filming this video, so gross.
The You Care parchment paper is made from a natural element. It's more pricey of a process, but totally worth it.
Some other things that we like about this product is that it is unbleached, it is compostable, and it is oven safe up to 428 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 degrees Celsius. Now, one of the cons with this parchment paper is with it being that all natural material, including the box that it comes in, it doesn't have a metal edge for tearing, and I'm not very good at using the all natural cardboard surface to tear the paper, so I advise using some kitchen scissors. Alex is a little bit better at tearing the paper than I am though.
Or just ask your wife to do it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I ask her to do a lot of things. The next item on our list is the 𝐂𝐸𝐻 washing up pad, which is just a fancy name for a kitchen sponge. However, I really like this kitchen sponge. It's a large size, which is nice because I've tried holding those little blue sponges you can get from the store that, I don't know, I have big hands and I feel like my hand kind of cramps up with them. One thing that I've really noticed is that the sponge does not deteriorate over time, or it's at least much slower than your typical sponge. I've used those sponges from the grocery store where you start getting a little fuzzies and they get all over your dishes and things don't really seem clean. This sponge has held up. I think we've been using it for 3+ months now and it's still in pretty good shape.
One of the ways to extend the life of the sponge is to do a deep clean wash on it so it will last even longer. The sponge also seems to hold soap longer than the other little blue sponges did.
One thing the sponge will not clean is a cheese grater. So if you want your sponge to last for a long time, don't wash a cheese grater. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Don't wash it with the abrasive side. Or ask your husband to do it.
There you go.
The next item is the Wax Wrap Beeswax Organic Cotton Food Wraps.
Say that 3 times fast.
Gross.
Wax wrap, beeswax, cotton wrap, and food wrap.
These things are amazing. They are pieces of cloth coated in beeswax, and you can use them in place of saran wrap. You could wrap up an avocado, a piece of fruit. Use them on top of casserole dishes, glass dishes.
And as somebody who thinks these things look kind of weird when I look in the refrigerator, why would somebody use beeswax wrap over just the easy to get plastic wrap?
Plastic isn't the best thing for you. You don't want it touching your food, close to your food. If you need to wrap up some hot leftovers, put plastic over it. That plastic can then leach into your food. With the beeswax wraps, it is all natural, so you are good to go.
And they're reusable. That plastic wrap finds its way into a landfill, and with the beeswax, you just wash it down with soap and water?
You just pretty much rinse it off. It doesn't hold smell or anything, and you can reuse them again, again, and again.
Coming up next is the You Care Firelighters. These are fantastic if you have a wood stove. And you might be thinking, but Ben, you're not supposed to use a fire starter in a wood stove. With this item, you can. This is the only fire starter I have seen that is rated to be okay to use in a wood stove. Typically, you don't want to use fire starters in a wood stove because they add extra creosote and can kind of cause a fire hazard over time. That is not the case with these fire starters. They are very small and 100% all natural. They can even be stored next to food and they have a really long shelf life. 72 of these little fire starters come in a pack. And if you read the box, it'll tell you that you need to use 2 to 3 of these when you're starting a fire. I still use some kindling when I get my fire going, so I only need 1 of these. And with 72 in a package, that is more than enough for me to get through an entire heating season and also use these when I'm starting some outdoor fires. And kudos to my wife, because she was tired of seeing me struggle with newspaper and getting kindling done, that she said, honey, did you know that Azure Standard offers a all-natural fire starter? And I said, you can't use that in a wood stove. And she said, yes, you can. And she was right. She was so right.
The number 1 item on our list is the Azure Clean Dish Soap. We like to get the fragrance free, but they also have lavender and citrus scents as well. This is an excellent plant-based soap. There are no dyes, no extra chemicals in it that are unneeded. A lot of these natural soaps don't produce as many suds, and they don't seem to get your dishes as clean.
And when we switched and started using all natural products, I was usually the one dragging my feet and kicking and screaming and saying, why are we having to be healthy? I did the same thing with soap and complained about the suds, but of all the all natural soaps that she has brought home for us, this one is my favorite, and I still feel like the dishes are actually getting cleaned. And we feel like we get the most bang for our buck by buying the 128-ounce size bottle. Now, when you look at price per ounce, it's less than half as expensive as the 16-ounce bottle. So we're gonna use the soap anyway, so we figure why not get some cost savings there? Now you can save maybe about another 15% by buying the 5-gallon bucket, but that's a lot of soap, and I don't think we're those people yet. No shame if you are those people, get a 5-gallon bucket of soap, but we're not there yet. We probably will be.
Probably.
But I'm dragging my feet, we're not there yet.
That's okay. We started buying from Azure Standard as a means to buy organic bulk food at a great price. We keep trying more and more of their products and are rarely disappointed.
We love sharing our favorites with you. Be sure to check out this video next for more eco-friendly foods, and in the meantime, remember to live free
and find your purpose. Wax wrap, beeswax organic. Gah. The next item on our list is the wax wrap beeswax organic cotton food wraps. It's like a Dr. Seuss thing.